President-elect Donald Trump is filling out top positions in his administration. Today, Mr. Trump chose Alabama Senator Jeff Sessions to helm the Justice Department as Attorney General. Prior to being in Congress, Sessions spent time as a United States Attorney and the Attorney General of the state of Alabama. Mr. Trump is also bolstering his national security roster. He selected Republican Congressman Mike Pompeo of Kansas as his CIA director, and CBS News has confirmed, in fact, that Pompeo has accepted that offer. This all comes as Mr. Trump gets set to meet with 2012 Republican nominee Mitt Romney tomorrow. A noted Trump adversary during Mr. Trump's campaign, Romney is reportedly interested in becoming the Secretary of State in a Trump administration. Here to discuss it all, Politico Playbook co-author and senior writer Jake Sherman. He is in the Politico newsroom in Arlington, Virginia. And Jake, again, in just a matter of hours now, we've seen an AG pick, a national security advisor selected, a CIA director as well. Does it dispel the notion of a state of disarray in the transition?
I think it does. I think he is moving ahead with big appointments. I think there's still some concern on the staff level. I mean, it's not just about filling out your cabinet. There are 4,000 positions in the federal government that need to be filled by the president. He is doing he's got some big ones locked down, and from our view, from the people we talk to, the Mitt Romney meeting this weekend is not going to result in an appointment for former Governor Romney. I think it's more of just a huddle and a time to kind of get on the same page. I really don't think that Romney, who has, holds very different viewpoints than Donald Trump, will be in his administration.
I want to let's take a dive specifically into the Sessions pick as AG. The New York Times is actually already out with an article saying that the specter of race will shadow this. It highlights several racially charged incidents throughout his years as a prosecutor and Alabama AG. Obviously, he's a man who will certainly inform whom Trump nominates to the Supreme Court. What do you make of this pick?
I think that it's going to be a tough vote, potentially, for senators who are going to have to confirm Jeff Sessions, one of their colleagues, as Attorney General. Back in the 80s, Ronald Reagan tried to appoint Jeff Sessions to the federal bench, and he was not confirmed, and because of some racially charged language and some other incidents from his time in Alabama. I think that it is going to put some senators in a tough spot when they have to answer for this, and especially people like Jeff Flake in Arizona, who is facing a more diverse state, a more diverse electorate. So I think it's going to be tough. Listen, I think the overwhelming odds are that he's going to be confirmed, but makes it a little bit tougher for Donald Trump early in his administration.
It certainly informs the pick of Mike Flynn as well as national security advisor. Flynn has been under fire for his admitted views on Islam. In fact, he tweeted earlier this year that the fear of Islam is rational. So considering this pick, coupled with that of Sessions, and it would seem, if nothing else, that some of the more extreme stances Donald Trump took during the campaign are now coming to bear here.
Yeah, I think, and also what we didn't say is that Michael Flynn retweeted and later apologized a very anti-Semitic remark about Jewish people, obviously, and that's another thing that people are talking about here in D.C. I mean, listen, the main takeaway here is Donald Trump is filling his cabinet with people who are like him, white, old men, and there's no diversity. Everybody he's appointed is a D.C. insider, a government veteran. Mike Pompeo, who's the CIA director, is a member of Congress, Republican member of Congress. Jeff Sessions, a longtime senator. So he's filling his cabinet not with outsiders, not draining the swamp, as he said he was going to do, but with insiders. So I think that's important to keep in mind when Donald Trump talks about changing government. He's actually not done that at all yet.
So if you look at the optics, then, of this meeting to come with Mitt Romney, we've seen other names floated for the post of Secretary of State. On one hand, they included Rudy Giuliani, again, a staunch loyalist whose name has been out there now for several days. Does it seem then that perhaps the floating of a name like that of South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley was meant again for optics' sake?
I don't know if it was for optics. I think he definitely needs to put some diversity in his cabinet. Some presidents oftentimes choose members of the opposing party. It doesn't seem terribly likely that Trump will do that, although he has floated some Democrats for education secretary. The striking thing to me is that Secretary of State, one of the big, most important positions, he's not talking about, doesn't seem to be talking about anybody that has any experience in the military, in national security, or in diplomacy, which is, kind of the traditional metrics, the traditional resume for somebody who's going to be representing American interests abroad with countries around the world.
Meanwhile, for the Democrats, it would appear the aftermath of the election is upon them. I want to turn to Capitol Hill here. Democratic Congressman from Ohio, Tim Ryan, announces that he will now challenge Nancy Pelosi for House Minority Leadership. He has been quoted as saying more of the same for Democrats is the definition of insanity. What are his chances here?
Not very good. Nancy Pelosi did say yesterday that she has 2/3 of the House Democratic caucus on her side. So she's setting the bar very high for herself. I think that Tim Ryan will get more than 1/3, but it's a very tough election for Tim Ryan. Nancy Pelosi is still has a lot of allies in the House. She raises a lot of money for House Democrats, but it does show that there's a generational shift underway inside the House Democratic caucus and inside Democratic politics, where people are standing up to the longtime leader of the House Democratic caucus. And what Ryan is saying publicly is what Democrats have been saying privately for some time, that they have been out of the majority for just for 14 of the last 18 years in the House, which is a stunning number. And they're still led by the same three 70-something-year-old people. And that's going to be a problem for Nancy Pelosi, Steny Hoyer, and Jim Clyburn going forward.
Well, you say that it's going to be a problem, certainly as the DNC also looks for new leadership as well. But I guess there's the natural sense of, if not now, Jake, when?
It's a good question. You need somebody to beat somebody, right? You can't beat somebody with nobody. And so I think this is the first step in kind of beginning to topple Nancy Pelosi, beginning to, as you said, the DNC is also looking for new leadership, bringing kind of the younger generation to the fore. An entire generation of Democrats have been stymied in the House of Representatives because Nancy Pelosi has been atop the party for a very long time. And that's just a fact. And that's something Democrats have to contend with.
Tumultuous times at a tower in Midtown Manhattan, up on Capitol Hill. Politico Playbook co-author Jake Sherman, as always, appreciate the time.
Thank you, sir.